It was supposed to be just another scene, another take in a drama that fans had been waiting for. But what happened on that set, in that one moment, changed everything. Because when Shen Yue turned away from Dylan Wang during that kiss, the entire internet froze. Was it scripted? Or did Shen Yue just reject Dylan Wang for real? For years, fans have followed their story, both on and off screen. From Meteor Garden interviews to subtle Instagram likes and quiet glances during reunions, Dylan Wang and Shen Yue's chemistry had always felt different. It wasn't the polished performance of two actors. It was raw. It was real. It was the kind of connection that made viewers forget where fiction ended and truth began. But behind that smile, behind those playful banners, something else was brewing. Something neither of them expected. During the filming of their latest project, insiders noticed a change. The energy on set felt tense. Dylan was quieter, Shen Yue distant, and for the first time, the two stars, known for their easy friendship, barely spoke between takes. Then came that scene, the kiss, the one written to mark the turning point of their character's story. But what happened was far from the script. When the cameras rolled, Dylan leaned in, a soft, slow movement that mirrored every romantic moment they'd ever shared on screen. But instead of returning the kiss, Shen Yue pulled back. The director called cut. The crew fell silent. And Dylan just stood there, still confused, hurt. No one knew if it was acting anymore. Within hours, fans began dissecting the leaked behind-the-scenes clip. Freeze frames, slow motion, body language analysis. Every detail became evidence. Some said Shen Yue's eyes looked angry. Others saw heartbreak. And a few insisted she wasn't rejecting the character, she was rejecting him. So what really happened? According to a close source, Shen Yue had been dealing with emotional exhaustion. Her schedule was relentless, and constant rumors linking her romantically to Dylan had taken a toll. She reportedly told friends that she needed distance, not because she didn't care, but because she couldn't tell where her feelings ended and the public's expectations began. And Dylan? He didn't take it well. Those close to him said that he felt blindsided. He thought they had finally found peace, a rhythm that allowed them to be both friends and co-stars. But when Shen Yue started drawing boundaries, Dylan saw it as rejection, not just on screen, but in real life. The tension carried over to set. Scenes took longer to film. The director reportedly paused production multiple times due to emotional disconnection. And that kiss? It became a symbol of everything left unsaid between them. A silent confession, a painful goodbye, and a moment too real to fake. But here's where things get even more interesting. Weeks after the filming incident, Shen Yue posted a cryptic photo, a blurry sunset with the caption, "Not everything scripted deserves a take two." Fans immediately flooded her comments. Is this about Dylan? Was that kiss real? Did you walk away from him for good? She didn't reply. But Dylan did something that spoke louder than words. He unfollowed her. For months, neither of them addressed the rumors. Not in interviews, not online, but silence only fueled curiosity. Paparazzi caught Dylan at a music event, looking uncharacteristically withdrawn. Meanwhile, Shen Yue appeared radiant at a fashion shoot, calm, composed, but distant. When a reporter asked her about Dylan, she simply smiled and said, "Some moments are meant to stay behind the camera." A single line that broke millions of hearts. And yet, there's something about this story that refuses to fade. Because when they appeared together unexpectedly at a recent industry gala, the tension was undeniable. They didn't pose for photos together. But when their eyes met across the room, every fan watching the live stream felt it. That spark, that history, that unfinished story. So, was a kiss rejection real? Maybe it was a moment of pain wrapped in professionalism. Maybe it was the truth slipping out in a place where lies usually live. Or maybe, just maybe, it was two people trying to protect their hearts while the world watched. Because love, especially under the spotlight, isn't always a fairy tale. Sometimes it's a performance you wish you could quit. Months later, as Dylan filmed his new drama overseas, he was asked in an interview about what it's like to perform romantic scenes. He paused for a long time before replying. Sometimes, acting teaches you what you're not ready to feel again. Fans knew exactly who he meant. Meanwhile, Shen Yue's latest project premiered to glowing reviews. But during the press conference, one question brought back everything. A journalist asked, "If you had to film a kiss scene again, who would you choose as your partner?" She smiled gently. Her eyes softened, a flash of something unspoken. Then she whispered, "Someone who means it." And just like that, the entire hall went silent. Because even if their story had ended, some truths, like that kiss, live forever in the moments that feel too real to be acting. So, did Shen Yue reject Dylan Wang for real? Only they know the answer. But one thing's for sure, that scene wasn't just part of a drama. It was a drama. They say closure is a conversation. But what if that conversation never happens? What if the words you want to say, the apologies, the questions, the truth, stay locked in your chest long after the moment has passed? For Dylan Wang, that silence became unbearable. Because while the world moved on from the kiss, his heart didn't. And somewhere between long flights and sleepless nights, he drafted a message to Shen Yue, a message he never sent. After the filming ended, Dylan disappeared from the public eye for a while. No posts, no interviews, just absence. Those close to him said he spent weeks avoiding calls, even from his agency. He wasn't angry, just empty. He would often replay that final day on set in his mind. The look on Shen Yue's face when she turned away, it wasn't coldness. It was pain, the kind that only comes from love that's been stretched too far to hold. One night, while sitting alone in his hotel room overseas, he opened his phone, scrolled to her contact, and started typing. "I don't know where we went wrong." He paused, deleted it, typed again. "Maybe you were right to walk away." Then again, delete, because every word he wrote felt too small for everything he wanted to say. In interviews, Dylan had always been careful, charming, composed, and professional. But this time, he wasn't an actor. He was just a man trying to understand why someone he once trusted felt like a stranger now. He typed again. "You know, I still remember the first day we met. You were so nervous you forgot your lines." And I laughed, not because it was funny, but because I was nervous too. We were just kids pretending to know how to fall in love on camera. Maybe we forgot where the acting ended. He stared at the words for a long time, then sighed. But the truth is, I never stopped meaning it. And yet, once again, he didn't press send. At the same time, Shen Yue was filming her new project in Seoul. Her friend said she seemed focused, radiant, even. But late at night, she'd listened to old voice memos from their Meteor Garden days. Laughter, bloopers, outtakes, and one message from Dylan. A recording he once sent between shoots. "If I mess up the scene again, it's because you keep smiling like that." She smiled at the memory, then quickly locked her phone. It was easier to pretend the past was just a chapter, not a wound that still whispered his name. When Shen Yue posted her new photo shoot, a minimalist black and white portrait, fans noticed something subtle. Around her wrist, a thin silver bracelet, the same one Dylan had been spotted wearing months before. Coincidence? Maybe. But for their fans, it was proof that their story wasn't over. Because love like theirs doesn't disappear. It lingers in jewelry, in silence, in unsent messages. A few weeks later, during a variety show appearance, Dylan was asked a playful question. If you could send a message to someone you miss, what would you say? He smiled faintly, then in a low, quiet voice replied, "I'd say, thank you for teaching me what real feels like." The studio audience clapped. But those who knew, really knew, understood the weight behind his words. Because that wasn't an answer for the cameras. It was a confession. Insiders claimed that around that time, Dylan finally wrote her a letter. No cameras, no press, just ink, emotion, and honesty. He didn't mail it. He didn't even sign it. He folded it neatly and tucked it inside his journal, as if keeping it there meant keeping her memory close. The letter reportedly read, "I know we'll probably never be the same again, but I hope one day you'll